Welcome back, everyone, to your brand new favorite movie review YouTube channel. As I say nowadays, Mann Cinema Reviews, with its lovely host, per usual, Peter Mann. What's up, yeah? Before we get into the end of a trilogy, yes, David Gordon Green's Halloween Ends, we have to take care of some business, and that is to press like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well to notify you anytime I upload a review to this channel. As always, thank you, my new subscribers and my day ones, for choosing Mann Cinema Reviews. Let's get into the latest from the Halloween David Gordon Green franchise. Halloween Ends picks up where Halloween Kills left off 4 years after the events of Laurie Strode facing off with Michael Myers. No one has seen him since, and the town can't breathe. However, a fatal tragedy that is connected to a babysitter, Corey, played by Rohan Campbell, leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth, and Michael Myers somehow builds his terror around Haddonfield once and for all. So, with that, I just want to say that I praise David Gordon Green's direction majority of the time. He does have hits and misses as usual for a filmmaker. Don't know what he was thinking with Your Highness, even though I've never seen that film. I know its reputation. For him to do something like that and bounce back and do something like Jake Gyllenhaal's Stronger, which is my favorite film of his, is just rather odd. But being a director, being an eclectic one, doing things around drama, comedy, and now horror, David Gordon Green shows his hands as a jack of all trades when it comes to a filmmaker. And kudos. And that's what made me interested in the Halloween franchise, in the helm of this filmmaker. John Carpenter coming back, giving us the stamp of approval, and doing the score along with his son, great. Jamie Lee Curtis, our beloved final girl, Laurie Strode, respectfully, trying to end a series that made her in the Hollywood landscape great. Kudos to her as well. And you know what? With David Gordon Green's 2018 film, I definitely piqued my interest. I was very interested in seeing what he and two other screenwriters, as well as Danny McBride, comedian Danny McBride, brought on to handle the script of all three films. Okay, I'm game. All right, so Halloween 2018, great. I think the best in this franchise. Halloween Kills, however, things happen, COVID happened, and it did delay the release of Halloween Kills and now Halloween Ends. That's okay. We just want to make sure that the fans show up. And you know what? As what I said about last year's Halloween Kills, as sadistic as the gore and the kills are, it doesn't take away from just bad script writing. It's just terrible. And I just played with all this nonsensical, overwritten, drama and just lunacy of what was going on with the town of Haddonfield with a mob mentality. I just did not gel with that film. However, now watching Halloween Ends, I just gained somewhat respect for the last entry, because Halloween Ends is just nothing to praise at all. I tried to find what I liked about this film. I can say that Allison, played by Andi, Matichak, I think is her name. I really like her and the fact that she is the only one in the town of Haddonfield that gives this new character, Corey, a chance. She's definitely smitten, love at first sight. I don't know why. The guy is kind of just very reserved, and you know, there is definitely scars, and definitely how this film opens. That's another pro, I guess. It is intrigue that is squandered by a second and third act that doesn't know what to do with its title character, Michael Myers. Now, a little spoils to go along with this film. Michael Myers is hardly in this film. It's like they made a Halloween movie and forgot that, whoa, the masked murderer that is beloved to this franchise, we totally forgot that this was his film. And yet, they took a chance and gave it to Rohan Campbell, Corey. I don't know if it was him taking up the mantle last minute to kind of revive the horror and the terror that Haddonfield is plagued with, but those are big shoes to fill. I'm sorry, as much as I was intrigued with Allison and Corey's, little tryst, it's just terribly written anyways. Everything is squandered by bad screenwriting. And I just gotta say, David Gordon Green not only directs, but co-writes. Can he not get a hold of his team of writers and say, you know what? Whether we bring comedic flair to it, if we bring terror and suspense, we gotta make sure that it is just cohesively making sense. It all has to gel, it all has to feel good with its audience, because this film does not know what to do. It just rambles on, and it gives us, little hints of progressive choir, glee club geeks, now bullies, like, I guess, terrorizing poor Corey. And the man has been through enough from the opening scene, which is just harrowing. It's one way to just open up a Halloween film. And you know what I will mean once you see the film. Like I said, maybe the opening is what is just the driving force of anything, any semblance of positive feedback that you can get from Halloween Ends, because this movie is just terrible. And David Gordon Green, how dare you set up a franchise when the first film could have just been the one and done. You didn't need to do a trilogy. David Gordon Green could have been in and out, and yet he teases a trilogy worth watching. 2018 now, I feel, leaves a bad taste in my mouth because he decides to squander anything that, a semblance of anything respectable to end a franchise, especially as beloved as Halloween is. Now, I'm not saying that Halloween's been perfect. It struck gold in '78. John Carpenter knew what he was doing, and when there's too many cooks in the kitchen, now it's just squandered. Now he doesn't even want to do it, and then we had the Thorn trilogy that I just didn't care for. I didn't care for a cult. I didn't care for the supernatural powers of Michael Myers and its lore. And then they come back 20 years later and still doesn't really give a, go for John Carpenter. He's there just to kind of, collect a check. Rob Zombie comes in and tries to reinvent the wheel, if you will. You know what? As interesting as his take is, it is his own take. It is Rob Zombie's stamp of horror, white trash. And, his first film, okay, interesting. Could do without the white trailer trash portion and, getting back to what the original storyline is. You know what? That was passable. That was plausible. But what David Gordon Green decides to do is just beyond me. I am just sweating, just thinking about how this film could have ended. And it could have ended respectfully, but it doesn't. It is overwritten. It does not gel well with its comedy. In fact, after a while, with the people that I did see it with, all we did was make fun of it throughout. The choices, just the inane, idiotic choices that characters make. I don't want to talk about Halloween Ends. I just want it to just be done, because this film is just a squandered opportunity at its finest. To me, Halloween Ends is one of the worst in the series, and I don't really want to talk about it. David Gordon Green, I don't know what you're doing, but your foray in horror, I don't know. I don't trust you with The Exorcist, which is your next project. I just don't. You know what? Just make one. You're deciding to do a trilogy, just make one. Even the last 15 minutes, we could have had something that felt satisfying, and yet once the film ends, you really just collectively as an audience said, what the hell was that? Halloween Ends gets a 1-star review, and that's me being nice. I just want you to go quietly into whatever you do next. Everybody involved, Jamie Lee Curtis, you've done your job, thank you for your service. As regal as you are, it pains me to have to listen to what you were supposed to say on the page. You know what? John Carpenter chuckles and says, if this film is successful, I just can't wait for someone to come along and take a stab at it. Yeah, I'm here gonna, collect a paycheck. Blumhouse wipes their hands away and says, you know what? We don't plan to do anything, but it was nice knowing you, Mikey. They're done. They're on to the next. And now the rights are reverted back to Malika Cod. So I do have hopes that a brave and bold filmmaker will take some respect for John Carpenter and its craft of just one of the most amazing horror films to be ever created, and does some justice if there is a future for this franchise. Thank you for choosing Mann Cinema Reviews, and we'll see you on the next one.